The dribbling rule changes, man. Look, bro, we about to see how dribbling rule changes over time, man. Let's see how it helped the players, man. Let's see if it was a big help.
And Jordan
Let me see.
for a travel. 46-45.
Oh yeah, he put his feet down before he dribbled. That's a travel every time. It's a travel, Joe.
Getting to it. And a traveling violation call. Most
Yo, this nigga, hold on. So is them not travels?
Traveling violation
But they putting their feet down before they dribble.
on Smith.
That's a travel.
Paxson
I'm not tripping.
lost the grip. Lakers look to break.
He traveled.
And a
He stopped,
travel
walked with
violation
it.
called on Magic Johnson.
This is obviously a continuation of the series called Changing the Rules for Jordan. Now we're moving on from the hard hits and the fouls and all that
That's a walk.
to other rules like traveling. You know how I like to go back and watch the old finals? Well, those clips that I just showed, I pulled from one game. And that was the finals.
That was a
And
finals
those
game?
were stars getting called.
That was a
The reason I mention that is to point out how easy it would be for me to go back and get
That's a
a
trouble.
ton of examples from the past. This is one game, and they're even calling it on the stars in the finals.
My impression of LeBron fans explaining that us old school basketball people just don't understand the game.
Hold on, this is different.
You
though.
idiots call that a travel. It's called
a
a
travel.
gather step. You've got your
That's a
gather
travel.
step, your pre-gather, your post-gather, then you've
That's a
got
travel.
2 steps after that, and then you have a hop, which really isn't even a step if you think about it
That's a
legally.
You hear weird things come out of the mouths of people these days trying to explain why it's okay to take way more steps than people ever took in the past. So an episode like this gets way more complicated than it should be because we have to look at, okay, are we talking about how people are
Bro, is his hair real or is that fake hair, bro? All right, that's a question, bro. Because, like,
interpreting a rule? Are we looking at the fact that the NBA has changed some language? Are we looking at the
who knew
fact
language
that
would be a rule, but
no,
it
it
goes traveling violations?
really is traveling, it's just not being called? And finally, if it's not traveling, then what were all those NBA players doing back then? You know, why weren't people taking advantage of the fact that you could take several more steps?
That's a travel.
You know, clearly that's going to help you get to the hoop. You have to go into a pretty serious level of denial, just delusion, to think that professional
That's a
athletes
travel.
playing in the NBA for a long time, and not just your regular players, you're talking about the top players that understand the game better than anyone else,
That's a travel.
didn't know that there were more steps to take. And apparently the refs didn't know it either, because they're calling these guys for taking like half a step. However you want to try
So basically, nobody knew the rules, man. They were just hooping
and
at it.
justify today's NBA, clearly something changed. When it comes to taking steps, players are getting away with more than they used to. Now that is changing rules in favor of someone. That is giving someone a new
Who was
advantage.
that?
So throw all the semantics out the window. You made things easier. So you can't say that they changed rules for Jordan when they actually have made things easier for players since Jordan's time. If anything, the opposite of what these people are claiming is true.
What?
And why? You know, with all the
So you just gonna skip Jordan? So they ain't do nothing with Jordan. That's the thing I got with y'all. Like the old heads a little bit. Like, bro, y'all be just
declarations about these are superior athletes, why would you make things easier for people who are superior?
that's what they did
Shouldn't
for
they be
Jordan.
making the rules harder?
Yeah,
Just
that's
a reminder
Jordan.
of how
When
many-
Jordan was getting heck of fouled, and Jordan shot like 12 free throws a game, bro. Listen, I'm not gonna get into
More
rules.
topics we need to cover. They changed the rules for counting assists to make it easier for people to have an assist counted. They have changed the rules for what you count
Bro,
up.
John Stockton averaged 14 assists a game. Let's be real. I'm gonna keep it 100. Nobody believed John Stockton really had 14 assists a game. He passed it to Carmelo. Carmelo dribbled it 8 times, then shot immediately. Let's not sit there and act like he really had 14 assists a game, actual assists. Come on now, old head. Let's give it a bean. They changed that rule for y'all in the 90s.
As a rebounder, don't count as a rebound. Hand checking is gone. You know, you can't even imagine how much that's changed things. Personally, I'm
Lane 1964 lane expanded from 12 feet to 16 feet. The birth and elevation of the 3-point line 1980. 1991 implemented of a flagrant foul. 2002 legalizing zone. Hand checking was 2005 removing flopping.
You know, you can't even imagine how much that's changed things. Personally, I'm willing to put money that the flopping thing is still not going to be enforced worth a crap. The fact that the league had to come out with official rules about how to punish people that are flopping shows you how far the league has fallen.
Bro, Jordan was flopping, bro. I can pull up videos right now of Jordan flopping, bro.
A rule like this didn't used to be necessary because people weren't interested in flopping. They were interested in simply defeating the enemy honestly. It certainly doesn't help people understand better when today anyone can post whatever their opinion is on the web, declare it as a fact, and have other idiots spread it until enough people see it and they also decide that it's fact. Look at this one. What is Metro League? I don't know. I don't want to spend time bashing on them, but look at their interpretation of the gather step. The gather step can be taken before taking 2 steps. You can take a few steps before taking 2 more if you want to shoot a basket.
Right. What they mean is when you dribble, you take it 2. When you dribble, 1, 2, hop. That's another 2 once you hop.
Steps?
I think that's
what does a few even mean? You know, I can't take you seriously when you're not even going to use a specific number. Now instead of understanding the rules, I've got to go and look at the definition of a few and then wonder if that's even the definition that they're referring to.
Bro, gather step.
Something else I don't like about the word gather. You're referring to when the player gains control of the ball. Well, isn't that subjective? Who gets to decide when they've gained control? Or is it the act of gaining control? There's a way to simplify this, and that's to go to the NBA rulebook. So the
NBA officials control the game, bro. Basically,
we all agree that we're not going to go argue about street ball rules or high school rules or college rules or Europe rules, whatever direction you're going to try and take off with. We're going to talk about the NBA. And as much as I wish that would simplify things, anytime something says new language has been added, like, oh man, does this mean language that has to be interpreted?
Yeah.
Which means that it's up to who interprets it and how they interpret it. But I'll go back to this. If the new language allows things to get easier, well, you made things easier for these new, more impressive athletes that should be getting the rules made harder on them, if anything, since they're superior.
Bro, I hate when old heads don't use logic. Logic here, when Jordan came to the league and they were doing that fouling on Jordan, nobody want to watch that. So they said, but let's kind of make it kind of fast-paced, more loosey. Let's, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of put it in with Jordan. They made the game more easier. Okay, Kobe Shaq making the game more easier, bro. They're trying to make it more entertaining for the fans, bro.
This is even worse than I thought, because in part 3 of section B of talking about gathering, they use the word enough, otherwise gains enough control. Well, who gets to define enough? We have another subjective word. This one's pretty straightforward. He doesn't dribble at all and then takes,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a wall.
Good God, how many steps did he take? Under the traveling section.
But he keeps showing these same clips. Like, these are like 5 clips he gonna show. Like, cool, bro. Like, I can show 5 clips with Jordan. Like y'all gotta put things, like, he doing the same thing he's saying other people doing.
A player who gathers the ball while progressing may take 2 steps in coming to a stop, passing, or shooting the ball. Or, if he has not yet dribbled, 1 step prior to releasing the ball. LeBron did not dribble. Therefore, he only
thought he
gets
did.
one step. A player shall not run with the ball without dribbling it.
Why you keep showing his same pose? He must hate Bronze. He one of them Jordan lovers. I ain't gonna lie. He one of them Jordan lovers. He a Jordan lover for sure.
C. A player may not dribble a second time after he has voluntarily ended his first dribble. Now, we're going to have arguments about when the dribble was ended. This is why I don't like the idea of when a ball has come to a rest.
What?
While LeBron is being featured here, I do acknowledge that many players get away with this. The question is, have they made the rules easier or harder? Maybe a more accurate question is, have they stopped blowing the whistle? The
For
rules are
what,
basically still
bro?
the same,
Like,
but they
y'all
just don't blow the
nitpicking,
whistle
bruh.
to make things easier.
You don't think Jordan was carrying
And the
that
reason
motherfucker?
LeBron appears so often is I don't think the guy can handle the ball without traveling and carrying. Even if you want to defend modern ball handling, someone that you declare as the best should not have the rules changed to where he can now dribble like a kindergartner. Grab it, stop, restart, whatever you need, LeBron.
D. A player who is dribbling may not put any part of his hand under the ball and carry it from one point to another, or bring it to a pause and then continue to dribble again. Okay.
Bro, you
so-
think any NBA player, any of them niggas reading this, bro? No, bro. We hooping in the back. Yo, we ain't trying to hurt none of that. What is you talking about, bro? AI, they let AI do that long course for how many years? And then when they stopped liking AI, they started calling the Curry.
So
See what it is, bro.
now we argue about when exactly the hand is under the ball. You know, when I was coached, you couldn't even come near it. I don't even think you could side dribble. Maybe I was coached wrong. Maybe I was coached a little bit too strictly. But either way, we're a long way from that. Not even comparable. Actually just got back from a pickup game and
Hold on. First of all, hold on. A Curry is this. When he dribbling, he do this. The ball is not under. The ball is not under. It's like on the side. It's like on the on an angle. And he coming back down. He can't carry and do this because you gonna see his arm do this. It's like on an angle.
closed out on this kid
It's
who
an
picked up his
angle.
dribble. And then he just
Oh, that's a
started
Curry.
dribbling again.
He picked that
And
bitch up
nobody
there.
said anything, which
That's a
means I
Curry.
can't say anything.
That's a Curry.
You know,
Yeah.
when you get to stop and start like you're a 4-year-old on a Nerf playground,
Wow.
yeah, that makes it easier. You can't say that it doesn't make it easier when you reduce the rules to childlike shit. I thought to myself, if I
He sound like a Jordan Dick Eater meat rider, bro. A old head hater. Just mad that Bron is the GOAT. He's just a hater, bro. I understand some points of what he's saying, but now he just nitpicking. Like Jordan wasn't carrying the ball, having rules changed for him to make it easier for Jordan to win. Like, come on, bro. He shot 12 free throws a game, bro. Come on.
I'm going to play out here, I have to reteach myself to learn to cheat. I have to actually break all the
Nobody said
rules that I was
Bron got
taught.
handles.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it based on principle alone. So if we focus on part 2, a player who is dribbling may not put any part of his hand under the ball and bring it to a pause. Are people going to argue that you can bring it to a pause as long as the hand isn't under the ball? You know, if we go back to part 1, it says you can't carry
This
it
nigga
from
over
one
here.
point to another.
Some old head
LeBron
shit.
carries the ball from
That's
one
not a
point to
carry.
another all
not
the
a
time.
carry,
He like
boss.
literally carries
That is not a carry. The ball's on an angle. It's not under the ball. It's not
the
a carry.
ball across from one side of the defender over to the other side of the defender before continuing the
carry.
dribble after that. So are we going to argue that it's not a travel
It's
just
not.
because of his hand position,
It's
even
not.
though the ball came to a rest and was moved from one point to another? I mean, if you're going to
He's an old
argue that, how are you not also arguing that they've made things easier? Just admit that they've made things easier.
Personally, no matter who's in this photo, the
Just
fact that
admit
that's
that he made things easy. He's pleading. No. You's a mad old head. We not
the
admitting it.
professional athlete dribbling, not passing, is really unfortunate. One closing example, I might be the only one who noticed this, but LeBron gains control of the ball with two hands right there, brings
He
it to a
probably didn't
rest,
mean to.
then continues dribbling while shoving the defender out of the way.
Bro, most of these clips he showed is accidental stuff. People didn't mean to do it, bro. I can pull up Jordan, Charles, everybody walking, traveling, carrying. It happens, bro.
Nothing about that's legal.
So basically
It's-
what he's saying is everybody that played in 2010, 2000s are not, they weak, they trash, they play like kindergartners, and everybody in the 90s and 80s are better than everybody. That's basically what he's saying.
bad enough that he gains control using two hands,
nigga
but
is
then
strong.
he cradles the ball under his right arm as he forearm shivers the smaller defender out of the way before continuing on with the rest of its completely illegal offensive bag. The most interesting thing about watching
be
LeBron on
mad.
offense these days is counting how many illegal things the refs will let him do in one possession.
You the only dick eater that be doing that. He gonna pull up one offensive foul call on Jordan from one game in the finals and expect us to be like, oh my God, they really gave no, bro. If you smart enough, you can do your actual like thinking and actual come to your own conclusion. You trying
But
to
yeah,
no.
they made things easier for Jordan.
They did.
And Jordan called for a travel.
I was never called for a travel.
No. Honestly, you old heads, you just don't understand the
You
rules.
old heads, you don't.
Got to be one of my favorite things going on right now. Idiots who preface their statements by saying, honestly, if you think about it, I mean, really, if you think about it, to be honest.
See, I hate when old heads trying to think they smart by saying, I hate when people do this. No, nigga.
I'm just saying. And as if
Deed.
all those phrases make whatever garbage comes out of their mouths next true. Of course, I'm
So
being
what you saying is
facetious.
true.
That is not one of my favorite
Like,
things. That
bro,
is one of the most annoying things.
nobody
Oops,
believes you,
I
D-Dog.
said facetious. I can't use words like that for the LeBron fans watching. I'll try to keep
And
my...
my point is, I'm not a LeBron fan, by the way. I'm a Russell Westbrook fan, KD fan, SGA fan, by the way. But he just an old head hater, bro. I can
my
just tell it. I
vocabulary
hear it
to
in his voice.
two-syllable words or less. Honestly. Oh, shit. That has 3 syllables, doesn't it?
The more I read this Metro League page, the more I realize they are
get
all
mad.
over the place.
Yeah,
This
he get
is
mad.
some
Every time he
weird
read it, he
stuff.
get mad.
And I'm not gaining anything by ripping on them. The point is that this was one of the top results when you search for traveling rules. And it's just really bad information.
You know what's crazy? It's a nigga that probably never touched a basketball in his life. Old head probably never touched a basketball. All he want to do is complain about the new generation. Never touched a basketball, but he know what traveling is. He know what gathering is. Nigga, you didn't invent the sport. You never refereed a game. Sit your goofy, man.
For taking 2 steps.
I'm not listening to this nigga no more. He don't know what he talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? It be old head just be hating. Now, I understand at some points he got, but he just started babbling and then nitpicking.